Welcome to episode 2 of my most used products of 2021. I have officially decided that that will be the name of the series. I feel like it makes the most sense. So that is what I'm calling it. But today we're going to be talking about my most used eye makeup and eye brushes and all of that good stuff. So let's go ahead and get into it. I already explained why I'm doing like my best of kind of videos like this in episodes, but basically it's just because I've done it like as a full on just one video in the past with every kind of category in it, and the videos were just so long, so I felt like this would be easier for you to watch as a viewer, and so that's why we're doing it like this. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the video. So today we are doing eye makeup, and first let's talk about some eye primers I used throughout 2021. One of them came out in 2021. It's the ColourPop Cream Eyeshadow. And this is the MAC Paint Pot. I featured these in my dupes video. This is a full-on dupe for this. This is in the shade Bronco. This is a dupe for the shade Soft Ochre in the Paint Pot line. And then I also have Laurel, which is the dupe for Painterly. I most often use Laurel and or Painterly. They just seem to work better for my skin tone. But if you want a little bit more of a yellowy one, this works well too. I use these as well because really once you put eye makeup on, it doesn't really matter from what I've noticed. But these are excellent. They're the exact same thing. So I love them both. I actually didn't really use liquid eyeliner this year, so I used a pencil liner that I put on my upper waterline. This is the L'Oreal Liner Signature Eyeliner. This is in the shade Black. I also have another shade that I'm gonna try out. I think it's in like a gray shade, so I'm excited about that. It's the creamiest eyeliner, but you just put it on your upper waterline and it does not transfer down. So heard about this from Jessica Braun. I know we're shocked, but you know, what can I say? She hasn't steered me wrong. I absolutely love this. It's my favorite high-end or drugstore for just like the waterline. I love to tight line and waterline with it, and it's just the best. I have it on today, and I feel like it just gives such a nice, natural-ish, diffused look. So it just looks so nice. We do have an honorable mention. Yet again, the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Primer. I've mentioned this, I think, every year that I've done this video, which is only like 2 other years, I think. But I know lash primers aren't really used that much anymore. I use them nearly every single day and love it, and this is the best one that I've ever used. There's really not much to say about it except for it helps volumize and it helps lengthen. And then when you put your mascara on, you're like, I don't need falsies, because the primer and the mascaras together are just so good. My most used mascara of the year was the No. 7 Full 360 Ultra and the Maybelline Sky High Lash Sensational. So this one was kind of like iffy, like people either loved it or hated it. From what I've seen, most people really love this. They're completely different wands. The No. 7 one is like an hourglass shape, real thick. Love this one, it's so good at volumizing especially. And it really does lengthen too, to be honest. And the Maybelline Sky High is a plastic one, but I love both of these. They both perform so well. They don't smudge, they don't flake on me, and I just absolutely love them. I know that some people don't. I think that this one really is if you have more lashes to coat, and this one can make pretty much anybody's lashes look good. For lower lashes, I don't like to use the same mascaras that I use on my upper lashes on my lower lashes because I feel like I look like I have spider eyes. So I actually started using this at the very beginning of last year. This is the Maybelline Lash Discovery, and it's a teeny tiny little wand. I ordered this on Amazon, and it's just perfect for the lower lash line because it shows that you have lashes down there, but it doesn't make you look weird. I just feel like I look weird with like the same mascara that I use on my upper lashes as I do on my lower ones. This one just shows that they're there, but I don't need any volume on my lower ones. I just want them to be darkened pretty much. So we have a lot of eyeshadow to cover. First, let me talk about my Wet n Wild Single Shadow in Brulee. I'm inserting a picture of that on the screen because I actually don't have one on hand right now because I've used all of mine up. I need to order some more, but that is my favorite just basic eyeshadow to kind of like set my eye primer with. Really, the ColourPop and MAC cream eyeshadows don't need to be set, but sometimes I like to. I like to set it, and the best shadow for that is the Wet n Wild Single Shadow in Brulee. First, I'm gonna talk about palettes, like full-fledged palettes, and then I'm gonna talk about like mini palettes, so like 6 shadows and under. So let's start off with the biggest palette I have here, and it's the Stone Cold Fox palette. I love this palette. It's a cool toned lover's dream. It's not all grays though. You also have some just like really cool toned browns, which I like, and some like mauve shades. So I love this palette. I've used nearly every single shade in here, and I'm never disappointed. This is probably my all-time favorite ColourPop palette out there, to be honest. I tried That's Taupe, which I thought would be like a miniature version of it. Not the same quality in my opinion. I think these are just better all the way around. I absolutely love this. I think it's like $34 to get a giant palette, and you can have pretty much anything in here. But this is one of my all-time favorites, and it was easily one of my most used in the year of 2021. By the way, I don't know if this came out in 2021. I think it may have come out in like late 2020, but I tried it out in 2021, and so yeah. Then a palette that I know did not come out in 2021, but I tried in 2021. How many times did I just say that? In 2021 is the Lorac Meraki palette. I think I called it Mercari palette one time. Whoops. But it's a neutral tone, got a little bit of warmth, got a little bit of mauve, just got a little bit of everything. Love this palette, traveled with it down to Christmas, used it a lot. It is so nice. I actually used this shade on my lid for New Year's Eve, and it was such a nice, just like shimmery shade. I used to on New Year's Eve wear just like a ton of glitter, but this year I was feeling a little bit more toned down, so I wanted the same like New Year's Eve feel, but with like a little bit less of a punch. This one does have a punch. It's obviously very metallic, but it's not like full-fledged glitter. Do you know what I'm saying? Love this palette. Think it is so nice. I think it's pretty underrated. I don't hear a lot of people talking about it. And I watched a video of Rob Beauty Christie, and I think she was saying that a lot of people don't talk about this palette as well, but I think it's great. I actually got it for like $25 during a sale, and absolutely love it. A palette that I tried this year but has been around for ages is the Tarte Maneater palette. I have been eyeing this since this came out. I don't know why it took me so long to get it, because it's amazing. You got some reds in there, but really, if you kind of just look at this, like how pretty neutral does that look? And I love these shades too. Tarte Shadow smells so good. This is so nice. The shimmers in here are a little bit more muted, but I really, really like it. Every single time I use this palette, by the way, Thomas, for some reason, loves my eyeshadow when I use this palette. Every time, without a doubt. He always says something, he's like, your eyeshadow looks really good today. And he's not really the biggest eyeshadow person, so that means a lot. I love this. Would recommend it to anybody. So easy to use, so nice, and really not too expensive in the grand scheme of things. So I absolutely love this one. And then an honorable mention, we're all gonna be so surprised, is the Nudes of New York palette by Maybelline. This thing has been beaten up and bruised. I use it like crazy. I have to say, this was probably my most used palette of the year, because I reach for this because it's so simple. Like, all these palettes are so easy to use. I gravitate towards this palette because I do that. I use it so much and I love it every single time. I never stray from that palette. I've loved it since I tried it a couple of years ago. So that's it for the like full-on palettes. Now we're gonna get into the things that are like 6 shadows and under. So first, I did actually try this Tarte Power Bar little 6-pan palette. I tried this in a video last year. This is actually what made me want to get the Maneater palette, because I absolutely loved the way that these perform. This is an excellent palette. My most used shades were these two, and then maybe sometimes this one. This is a little bit of a pinkier, warmer nude palette, but I absolutely love it. I've used every single one of these shades for a look, or I've played with different shades and made like different, more dramatic or less dramatic looks. I really do love the eyeshadow formula from Tarte. So then I actually did a video, I think it was called like the best $3 or $4 palettes from the drugstore or something like that. I was showcasing and reviewing the Essence 6-pan palettes, and my 2 favorites were Taupe. This is like, I mean, oh my gosh, wedding vibes to the max. Love this. This was definitely the most used out of the entire collection, and I love it. This is one of my favorite shades right here. It looks super gray, but it just goes on so nicely and really pulls out the green in my eyes. I have like hazel blue-green eyes while also pulling out the blue. So this is excellent. And then Coral Me Maybe. This one is very nice if you want like a corally look, if you're like a springtime look. I actually did use this quite a lot, which shocked me because I'm not usually a coral wearing person. Like, I don't usually gravitate towards those shades, but I did with this palette, and I absolutely love the formula of these, especially for the price, and they come with a mirror that is the same size as the palette, so it's not like a dinky little mirror. It is so good. I loved that collection overall. I thought that they did a really great job. Catrice also released some 5-pan palettes, and they're called 5 in a Box mini eyeshadow palettes, and I got it in soft rose look and modern smoky look. It's probably not shocking why these are my favorites. I love taking this shade in the crease and then this shade in the outer corner and putting that shade on the lid and making a little bit of a mauvey look. Love it. And then in here, we've got that kind of like taupey shade that I love, and a lid shade, and then like a shimmer shade. I did kind of play with the outer parts too, but I will say that most of the shades in here that I used were the first 3 on both. So like the lighter shades. These are just so good, and I think that they were like $5.99, so not expensive, and I really do love Catrice as a brand. I think that they do a really great job. I think they're kind of underrated in the grand scheme of things. People overlook them easily. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's kind of what I've seen. But these are so nice, and I like palettes like these because they're very straightforward. You don't have to really do a guessing game. Plus, like, these size palettes are so easy to travel with. Just put it in your little pocket. Just, like, stick it in your pocket. Or the panel of your leggings, which is what I would do. Not really. Why am I making jokes that aren't funny? We are gonna go over some eyebrow products. So I tried, like I said, I tried a lot of Charlotte Tilbury collection for a dupes video I was working on. So I picked up the Brow Cheek Micro Brow Pencil. It's like a teeny tiny little triangle. This is a really nice brow pencil. I use this quite a lot, and I really used the brow gel. These are both in the shade like blonde, or yeah, just blonde, I think, or soft blonde. Oh no, this is in taupe, my bad. Brow gel is in taupe, and the pencil is in light blonde. So light blonde and taupe. But really, I think that this could work if you're a light blonde and if you're like a deeper blonde, unless you have like white hair. But I really did like these. I could totally see myself purchasing them again. I don't know how quickly I would go and purchase them, because I do find that an honorable mention product I'm gonna bring up is just so good. So I don't really buy high-end eyebrow pencils very much, except for the sake of like videos, but I did really enjoy these. I also really enjoyed the One Size eyebrow pencil, and this is Patrick Starr's brand. This is in the shade Blonde. It's a very teeny tiny little tip. As you can see, I'm very partial to small, like tipped eyebrow pencils. That sounds like a weird sentence, but I love this. Really, the main thing I've found is that as long as an eyebrow pencil is kind of firm, but not like super hard to work with, and is the right shade, I end up liking it. And this was one of those. It's only $19 to, I mean, I say only, but for like being a higher end brand, that's relatively low in price. I also tried this e.l.f. Wow Brow. I do believe this came out in 2021, just like the other 3 that I just mentioned of the brow products. And this one I got in the shade taupe, and I held off because I was like, taupe might be too dark. It is not too dark. It is the perfect shade. If I want a really quick look, I just like brush it in. I don't even use an eyebrow pencil. Or if I want to top off an eyebrow pencil, I do it as well. I'm wearing it today. Love the way it looks. Perfect shade. And then 2 honorable mentions. We've got the CoverGirl Micro Brow Pencil. It's very similar to the Patrick Starr one. Got the same kind of tip. And this is in soft blonde. Perfect shade match. Wearing it today. Another honorable mention I have is the Maybelline Brow Fast Sculpt. This is in blonde. I love this. I heard Emily Noel start talking about this too, but I have loved this since it came out, and it is just so good. Another really easy, just like swipe on thing, even if you're not wearing an eyebrow pencil under that. So real quick, let's go through some tools that I loved this year. So the eyeshadow brushes from the Angie Hot and Flashy brush set, I really loved as well. Really the entire collection I loved. I actually featured the face brushes in that first episode of this series. These are so, so good. This is probably my most used one because I use it in the crease and I'm just like swoop, swoop, swoop. Okay, we're done. Like if I want a really easy eye look. But also this tiny little brush is amazing for like really defining the crease. This brush is really amazing as well for having just a little bit of a deeper crease look. And then these other 2 I really like as well. I've actually used this to lay on shimmer, and I usually don't use brushes to put on shimmer. Usually I use just my fingers to put on shimmer, but this is an excellent brush for that. Loved this entire collection, totally would repurchase it. I also really like this little duo thing. It's the e.l.f. eyebrow duo. I use this to brush up my brows, but also I use this to put on darker shadow on my lash line, so I have like an eyeliner on, but it's not so stark like a liquid eyeliner. Love this. I don't even know if this exists anymore, but it's the Deluxe Concealer Brush from Real Techniques, and I use it to blend out edges. And a very similar one that actually came in a Real Techniques set is this one. I also use it for the same reason, to blend out edges. This is what I use when I'm using Wet n Wild Single Shadow and Brûlée to lay it down over the potted eye primer that I used that day, or really any eye primer, like even if it's like a different kind of eye primer. But it's just amazing. So I hope you guys liked this second episode of my most used products of 2021. If you did, please make sure you give this video a thumbs up, hit the notification bell down below, and please don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. I will see you in the next episode, which we're gonna be covering lip makeup in. And yeah, until then, I hope you guys have a great day, night, weekend, whatever, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.